3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Well, it's the end of the week. Saturday is on the horizon. You know what that means. Get your cereal, get your milk. It's time for more Saturday morning cartoons and Sci-Fi Saturday. So get your munchies together as well. Sci-Fi Saturday night with Svengolie. And, oh man, it's been a long week. It's been a long week. We've had some snow this week. It's been cold. Some insanity out there in the news. We're not going to go into there. But first, I'm going to tell you, thank you for those who have subscribed. But I'm going to take this moment for those of you who haven't subscribed yet. I'm taking them a moment, and I'm talking on all of our social media platforms, whether it's ODYSEE, Gab TV, BitChute, Minds, YouTube. Take this moment to hit that subscription, because there are those out there now who don't even care what we talk about, but they just want to deplatform us and get rid of us because we're taking away from their ratings. Believe it or not, we're taking away from them. We're taking away from the big boys. If you enjoy this content, do you like it, hit that subscription. I know there are those pretty much all over the world. There's some of those who don't understand what's going on here. But take this moment, hit that subscription. You know, those of you, my Australian fellow viewers there, those in Japan, Singapore, throughout the Asian continent, throughout the United Kingdom, all the way down to our neighbors in the north in Canada, down all the way down to our neighbors in the south in South America. Take this moment to hit that subscription, hit that like, hit that notification bell, and share this video. It's very important. Isn't that right, Jay? That's right. Jay's here with us too. Saturday kickoff. It's Friday. We enjoy it. We get our questions and answers in today. So let's go deep into our comments, which is always important. We try to do it every Friday. That's why we call it the Saturday Kickoff, because most of the questions are because of what's going on Saturdays. You enjoy it as much as I do. There are a lot of things that I would like to see, and I know those of you out there, same as well. So let's start off with, and I keep saying this, I love some of the screenshot names on here. We are Awesome Vellum Padilla. And he talks about, we did the Deadpool 3 video this week. I hope the trailer comes out on February 7th. I really hope Venom 2 ends up to be a rated R. Yes, it will be rated R, because they did promise us a rated R movie. Same thing with Deadpool. You have to understand is that we're at the level point that Disney can't hold back shows like, programming like Deadpool, for example. They can't hold it back at all. Keep it from a PG downwater. You can't do it with a character. And the same thing on Sony's side. Sony, I don't think, has any problems creating a rated R movie in a MCU universe. Let me just take this little sip of coffee. Love my coffee in the morning. You have to always remember, the viewer that basically pays for your product, buys your merch, buys those tickets, they constantly buys the DVDs and Blu-rays, and constantly buying the books and stuff like that. They are the people that want to see it. They're the ones who basically love these type of stories, and if you write a good one, they will continue to come. They'll come multiple times to see that, and you'll make more money. Unlike those who are in the Twitter Puritan universe, that basically live into the factor that this type of programming should not exist. This type of movie shouldn't exist. Now, I did say in other videos that we're on our way out, and I think the superhero blockbuster is on its way out. I wouldn't put these two movies, Deadpool 3 and Venom 2, in that category. I think they're in the category by themselves. For the reason is that they're the anti-hero. They're the Riddick. If you remember Tales of Riddick and all those movies that they did with Vin Diesel, which I love those movies. And, sometimes the anti-hero can be a blockbuster in itself, a category on its own. And that's what these are. And people love it. I mean, Deadpool for years has always been a great comic. It's always been a great comic. Breaks that fourth wall. And Venom, well, Venom was supposed to be a side character that came out of Secret Wars, and basically it exploded and gotten his own comic, and now it has its own movie. And I'll tell you, the movie that came out, that first one, a lot of people criticize it, but it was a decent movie. Should have been rated R, but it was a decent movie. I enjoyed it. So moving on, Wesley West, and he comments, the majority of the alternative is also HBO Max, and if they don't have METV, is there for them. I'm an avid METV viewer, KLAS 8.2 Las Vegas, so I should know. Well, yeah, there's a lot of programming you can watch on the HBO Max on there that METV does have on their cycles. But let me tell you this. The apps are becoming more and more expensive every day. You have so many to choose from now these days. And I always point out, what are the great ones out there right now? It's Pluto and Tubi. And those are free. The reason is you get a lot of good programming, and I think Pluto's about to get a major change coming in March. I think they're about to add more stuff on there. Supposedly they got Showtime on there now. Supposedly they have Showtime programming, so I mean you can watch so much on Pluto TV. It's amazing. Same thing with Tubi. Now as far as METV has a lot of great programming. They're growing every day. They're adding. I mean, they just added Saturday morning cartoons. How can you fight a network that has gone against a rule? Do you know that there was government intervention? One of the reasons why Saturday morning cartoons failed was because basically the government at the time wanted more education. Now a lot of people says, well, the what they call it, the adverts, the advertisements that they throw in there made more money for them. Those overnight stuff they started putting during the day where they sold crock pots and stuff like that. Yeah, it made money for them. But the thing about it is, so did Saturday morning cartoons. It sold merchandise. How did it go?
Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
That's right, yogurt. That's what they sold all the time, was merchandise, cereal, all of that great stuff, the toys and everything like that. Those were great advertisements. Those were advertising money. It's just that you had people come in and say, we got to educate the kids. Even though kids were being educated on these Saturday morning cartoons as well. They just got rid of them because they wanted to take away kids' lives. They just wanted to take away their fun. And that should have been itself the warning. That should have been the major warning when they started with that and what's going on today. The way programming is running these days. But when you have METV, hey, you can't beat a channel with Andy Griffin on it. Or MASH. Or the Carol Burnett show. Even though Carol Burnett's also on Pluto too. Just not to take away from METV. But, you have all the great shows. And then the stuff on Saturday night, you got Star Trek, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, The Invaders, Buck Rogers, Svengolie, Movie of the Week. You gotta love the Movie of the Week every time. And he brings out a great show every week. I mean, there are Facebook groups that are dedicated to, roll call. They have a roll call that comes in, and people show what they're going to eat, what they bought, and they show off their T-shirts and mugs and stuff like that. That's the way programming should be on television. This is why the failure of Star Trek Discovery. This is why the failure at CBS. Because they lost all their merchandising. The merchants that make the merchandising for them to sell to the fans, because the fans don't want it, and the merchandisers saw this. They said, "That's not what we want. This is not a show we want." And that's the same thing that happened, with Saturday morning cartoons. That's why for a while, Cartoon Network, Boomerang, Nick, and all the others, they flourished well, but now they're dying out. They're dying out because basically, what are they making? They're making woke cartoons that are just like horrendous. And I'll tell you, no offense to Teen Titans Go, if I see it one more time, I'm just literally going to scream. Because that's what, most of the day, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing that and 4 other programs on a daily rotation schedule before Adult Swim and Toonami. So let's move on a little bit. Judy Miller says, should be 7 a.m. to noon. I think it came around at the end of that Saturday morning cartoons and that time frame. METV is 5.2 on the regular channel in Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank you, Judy. And that's basically the old days of Saturday morning cartoons. Actually, from a technical aspect, it was more like 6 a.m. technically. And I'll tell you what, it depends on the network. Certain networks threw in like certain cartoons at the early portion. For example, there used to be a Mr. Magoo series. It was a great series that he played characters out of novels. Treasure Island, Cyrano de Bergerac, I think Frankenstein was another one they did. And it was like a half hour episode. It was like a half-hour episode, and they did the books on that. And then there were other shows that came across. They were like smaller programming that you saw at the early part. But yeah, maybe MeTV may go to the noon hour. I mean, it may piss off the Western crowd, because there are people who love the Westerns, and I can understand that. But noon to 6-hour block of Westerns, I think it could still be good. You could still have that, and let the Saturday morning cartoons handle the morning portion. So thank you again, Judy. Moving on. Johnny Hernandez says they have the original Sabrina on Tubi TV. Johnny, thank you. Sorry. Yeah, they do have the Sabrina. It's not the original. The original happens to be part of the Archie comics. Now, the ones you're seeing on Tubi TV are the Melissa Joan Hart series. If you haven't seen the original Sabrina series, I encourage you to go out there. I think they're on DVD. YouTube has a couple of episodes on there. It's part of the Groovy Ghoulies, the Archies, and stuff like that, that basically were way back then in the 70s, 60s and 70s. You had those cartoons. You had those comics. They were very popular. The Sabrina series was a little bit different. Her aunts dressed like witches. That was one major thing. Salem didn't talk. He meowed. And you got to see his tail wag on there. There were other animals. There were dogs that were in the series that talked in their minds. You heard their inner thoughts. And basically, there were occasions where the Archies showed up, the Groovy Ghoulies, many other characters, part of that universe. And basically, it was a great series. Like I said, if you haven't seen the original Sabrina series. Go out and catch it. I do recommend them. So, next we have Carmacita Davis. And she says, no offense, I do like the weekday one, but they do too much talking, and half of the stuff they're talking about is not even interesting, so I would prefer Saturday morning cartoons. I understand that. But understand where METV is coming from and we're talking about Tune In Me. And I bring this up, Kukla, Fran and Ollie, Bozo, Captain Kangaroo. We had shows like this many years ago, and most people remedy to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and Sesame Street and all that. You had shows on the Saturday morning lineup and on the Sunday morning lineup as well that talked to the kids, that had fun. Even though they showed some cartoons, they had some fun cartoons in between. But they also had fun. They did stuff, crafts and stuff like that. You had shows like Romper Room that were very educational at the time. And they showed kids how to do things and have some fun, learn about themselves and stuff like that. Taking away from, the dailies of what's going on in the world and what, their school time and stuff like that. And they had fun. And that's what Tune In Me is trying to do, is trying to bring back the fun back to kids. Now, I'm not certain, Carmacita, I would assume you're young. I don't know your age, but this is what we did when we were kids. We did this. I'm from a generation woken from the 60s and then the 70s and into the 80s and beyond. And I saw a lot in my lifetime. A lot. Some stuff I don't want to remember. But there was a lot of great times, and a lot of them were Saturday morning cartoons and the weekday shows. So thank you again, and I think that's the last one for this week. It's a slow month. January, let me tell you, folks, it's always a slow month in January when it comes to social media on YouTube and stuff like that. But lately, the ratings have been a little higher for us. I mean, our viewership has been a little high because basically a lot of us are home on COVID, depending on where you are in the world. And, I'm glad we're here to bring you a lot of this information and talk with you, have some time with you. So, before we tip away, let's tip off and find out from our friend Mr. Svengolie what is the movie of the week.
This week on Svengolie, guess who takes charge of this movie?
I'm Dynamo Dan, the electrical man.
Lon Chaney Jr. stars in Man-Made Monster.
Electrocuted.
On the next Svengolie, Saturday at 8/7 Central on METV.
That's right, folks. Lon Chaney Jr. starring in Man-Made Monster. Man-Made Monster. Have I seen that one? Let's say I don't miss one. I mean, last week we had a Creature from the Black Lagoon. Always a great one to watch every time. And I know I will catch this one. And, for those of you, who haven't seen it, catch it. It's always good. And I'll tell you this, and I've been on many chat rooms for Turner Classics, for Svengolie, a lot of the classic chat rooms that talk about classic movies. And, there's a lot of movies out there that you probably have never seen before. I encourage you to take this moment. Pick a subject. Pick any subject in the movie business. Pick crime stories, noir, samurai films, kaiju, drama, dramedies, comedies. Pick one level and pick an era. And I'm not talking the current one right now. I'm not talking about anywhere from the late 90s into current day. Go before that. Check out stuff even before the 80s. Because let me tell you something, you'll find some gems out there. Some great movies. I just talked with somebody and we were talking about noir films, those crime films that basically the detectives and stuff like that. And we were throwing out names. People were like, "Wait, what's this one? I've never seen this one before. Whoa, wait a minute. How about this one?" You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at the type of films that were made, and catch them now. catch them now before they end up getting butchered, destroyed, hidden from view. Because that's what they're trying to do right now. You know, there's a saying that says, well, they can't make Blazing Saddles today. Yes, they can make Blazing Saddles. It takes the strength of will to sit there and say, I can write a story that's funny, that basically satires racism in the West.
Hey, boys! Look what I got here! Hey, where are the white women at?
And that's what Blazing Saddles was a satire on racism. You know, and this was written by a Jewish guy, Mel Brooks. You know, you can't get better than that when you watch a movie like Blazing Saddles. You know, or any of the Mel Brooks movies. They're all fantastic movies.
Adorable.
I mean, there's stuff that I was just looking up one day, and there's a movie out by Woody Allen, and Woody Allen, to this day, he basically announces it. It's a movie called What's Up, Tiger Lily? And What's Up, Tiger Lily is a great film, which basically Woody Allen took a movie from Asia, and basically it was an action flick. It was called International Secret Service: The Key of Keys. And what he did was he edited it down, took the best parts of it, and then took out all the audio, all the music, all the dialogue and everything like that, and created a whole new dialogue where basically they were looking for the best egg salad sandwich recipe. And that sounds great. And that sounds really, if you haven't caught it, it is the most hysterical movie you will see. One of the most hysterical, hands down. But now Woody Allen denies it. He denies he made it because basically he doesn't believe in altering films and stuff like that, which is understandable because, you know, colorization and stuff like that, you know, on there. But let me tell you, dubbing over movies and TV series and cartoons have been around for a long time. You know, a lot of people that, you know, you have those abridged, like Dragon Ball Abridged and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, that's new. No, we were doing this long before this. We were doing it with karate, with those Saturday afternoon karate flicks from Shaw Brothers. We were doing it with a lot of other movies and stuff like that. I mean, there were TV series dedicated to that. There was I forgot the name of it, but there was they did a kung fu theater that they did that, and then, you know, you had the Kung Pao movie. That Kung Pao movie that basically a lot of people didn't like it, didn't really understand, but that also was basically overdubbing a original film. I think it was multiple films they did on that one, and they spliced them together and changed the dialogue and added some real cool stuff in green screen. I mean, that was I enjoy that movie every time, you know, especially wee. You'll understand when you see the movie. But, you know, there are a lot of other great classic films out there. There's so many. You know, like Turner Classic shows a lot of these great films. METV supposedly is going to be showing these films as well, eventually down the line. And there's even an independent channel called Movies that you can get on your antenna. It's free. And they show classic movies from all eras. So, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Like I said, get ready for the kickoff. And, you know, Saturday morning cartoons, very important to these days. Could we bridge a gap between all of us that basically are disagreeing with each other? Could maybe, you know, I could dream, can I? Could Saturday morning cartoons bring back the peace that we're looking for? Maybe it is. Maybe I'm asking for so much on there. You tell me. Be sure to catch our shows daily. We're going to try to put up more episodes on there. Man with the Show. We have a special edition coming out very soon. You know, some of you have been asking about what's happening with Brunch. Brunch will be back very soon in the next couple of weeks. January, like I said, it's a slow period. So to do the long broadcast that we normally do with Brunch with a Madman, not advantageous right now. Also, we are redesigning the show, so there's basically, like I said, that's part of the new molding of this channel, Cuticast TV. We're remolding this channel and programming and stuff like that. And we're going to give you more and more, and we see what you like the most. And that's what we're trying to bring to you. So continue to comment below. Continue to hit that subscription, hit that like, hit that share button. Well, actually, share the video, hit the notification bell. Right, Jay? Right. And you know, I have to say, you know, I thank you. I thank you, those of you who have stayed with us this long. And I thank you. And also, don't forget, it is Friday also as well. So don't forget to check out one of our other great YouTubers. It's Friday Night Tights. It's about around 5-6 p.m. Eastern on this YouTube social media platform. Some great talk, some funny things, some funny videos. Such a great show every week with special guest YouTubers on constant episodes. You know, Gary, you know, out there, you know, as Jeremy, you know, all of them are bringing some great programming to you. And I know you a lot of you out there do love their programming, and please continue to support them. They also, as much as, you know, we're a small channel, you know, we ask for the support them as well, because you know, they're the ones that they're trying to be, you know, a lot of these people are trying to cancel out. They're the first ones that they want gone. And why? They're talking about Doctor Who, how bad Doctor Who is, how great The Expanse is, how great this show, how bad that show is. You know, we have to have commenting. We have to have a two-way conversation on things. The thought police want you to think in their pattern. The Twitter mob, or Puritans, however you want to call it. They want you to think like they think. That's not how this country works. We have to have a very good conversation, you know, and it goes two ways. So thank you once again. Don't forget, Svengolie, 8 p.m. Eastern on your local METV local channel. That's 7 Central. For those of you who are in the Central Time Zone, tune in with me every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central on your METV channel. And like I said, Madman with the Show, here every week, Wednesday and Fridays. Hopefully we're going to be adding Thursday to the lineup, just to let you know that in advance. We're trying to get Thursday into the lineup. So we're starting to expand out. So thank you again. Have a good weekend. Hope the weather is good with you. I know we had some snow this week. So thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.